Welcome to this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. This meeting is held in the Jackson County Courthouse Auditorium at 10 South Oakdale in Medford. This meeting is held every Wednesday morning at 9:30, as long as a quorum of 2 commissioners is available to conduct the business of Jackson County. Your Jackson County Commissioners broadcast this meeting over Rogue Valley Television, and it's available for streaming and review at jacksoncountyor.gov. Under the Government tab, under Recorded Meetings, click on RVTV Live Streaming. The types of business that occur at this meeting include public hearings, official voting on actions by the Board of Commissioners, presentations by departments of the county, and recognition of service that makes our county great. Agendas of the meetings are posted on the Commissioners' Bulletin Board and released on the county's website and through local media in the time required for public notice. Many of the conclusions on the business presented to the Board of Commissioners have been discussed in detail and prepared by the administrative office and staff prior to consideration at this meeting and the official vote. These prior discussions also have been properly noticed and the work done in a transparent manner. We encourage you to come and experience the process by attending any of these meetings or watch online at jacksoncountyor.gov. And now, your Jackson County Commissioners, Rick Dyer, Colleen Roberts, and Randy Sparacino, working for you.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a little after 9:30, so we'll call the Board of Commissioners regular meeting for May 21st, 2025 to order. We're here in the Courthouse Auditorium and on audio-video conference. We'll start the meeting today with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you'll please stand and follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We will now move into our request for and discussion of non-agenda items. We do have a 5-minute limit. Pursuant to the codified ordinances of Jackson County, Section 213.06, members of the public may address any item not on the agenda. However, pursuant to ORS 192.640, the Board of Commissioners is prohibited from discussing a principal subject that is not on the agenda. Therefore, the Board of Commissioners will listen to your concerns and may consider the matter you raise by asking staff to follow up on any questions or by placing the matter on the agenda for discussion at a future meeting. We do have one individual signed up today, Logan Vaughn. Come on up, and please give us your name and address for the record again.
My name is Logan Vaughn. I reside at 1116 Murray Avenue, Medford, Oregon, 97501. Good morning. One of the voices in the wilderness here today, but it's good to be here. You know, we want to encourage people to come down and speak and be involved, but yet when they get involved, nothing happens, but it is what it is. I want to start off with a verse, Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. It is what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. Things have to change here in this county. For over, I want to say, close to 10 years now, I've been trying to do ministry inside of our jail. The only time I've been able to effectively get in there is with a pair of handcuffs first, which is fine. Because one situation when I went in, I literally got to pray with two men in the holding tank. They're from Sacramento, some drug dealers bringing some ecstasy up. We ended up saying the sinner's prayer, washed their feet right there, and by the time I was done, the guard, Vaughn, roll it up. So I was only in there for a minute. It is what it is. Last time I got locked up, I had the pleasure of going to 2 North for delusions of religiosity. I want to remind the record, just for the record, why I was there, so it is on record. I decided to run for county commissioner in the primary last February. Within 3 hours of me turning in my paperwork, literally 3 hours, because they timestamp it at Chris Walker's office, well, let me back up a little bit. I want to remind you I was running against the former chief of police of Medford. So within 3 hours of me turning in my application to run, I was in the back of a Medford police car. It is what it is. I'm going to do a little speculating here, I'm going to speculate that they were coming for my arms. I've been a gun broker for over 22 years. That said, when they showed up at my house, opened up my bolts in my garage, all that was there was a piece of paper that says, "Jesus loves you." Unfortunately, the Medford Police Department didn't like that very much, because I forgot to get the ammunition out of my house, which the prosecutor said this man has more ammunition than all the local buy marts combined. Well, that's not a crime. Unfortunately for myself, I forgot to get one of my wife's 357s that she kept high up in a cabinet in our bedroom. That 357 was taken, and pictures were shot of it throughout my house, one specifically underneath the couch with the cushion raised so it could look like my children have access to it. Unfortunately for the Medford Police Department, when they mailed discovery to my first attorney, my first public pretender at that point, who was Christine Herbert, who's now a judge. It's all coincidence. Anyway, when they mailed discovery, they forgot to delete all the pictures. So it was very evident what the MPD was trying to do right there. It is what it is. All these charges have been since dealt with, but it's amazing how all you got to do is make accusations and someone can get locked in 2 North for delusions of religiosity. It is what it is. What happened to me was a tragedy of justice. Our mental health system is completely broken. I am the proof. How did I get out, you may wonder? How did I get out of there? From that underneath that doctor's finger, Dr. Philip Michael Bradley, the one who was trying to have me committed and give me a chemical lobotomy. Well, I'll tell you, I had my wife send a private message via Facebook to the campaign manager of this said commissioner. And I said, as soon as I get out of here, I will be suspending my campaign and moving to the Philippines. The next day, that doctor came to me and said, "Hey, Logan, so I hear you're suspending your campaign and moving to the Philippines. We can probably get you out of here." I was released the next day. You tell me. The trial date that they made for me was literally 1 week after the election. It is what it is. This is not a battle of flesh and blood, but of principalities and powers and rulers of darkness. We need to take our community back. The main purpose of me being up here is I'd like to be able to get in the jail and do some effective ministry. Obviously, the chaplain who's been there for over, I want to say back in the 90s, he's getting old. No disrespect. He's literally getting old. Things need to change down there, and we need to, instead of spending another $1.8 million to kick the can down the road, give me a shot. Let me get in there and try to help these men who need the Lord, because ultimately that's the only solution to these problems. I wish you guys the best, and I want to urge you to read Mark 8:36. God bless you.
Thank you. We don't have anybody else signed up, but Brad, come on up.
Good morning. Brad Bennington, 2886 Orchard Home Drive, beautiful Medford. Commissioners, I just want to visit with you about a recent experience I had, very educational experience with our Jackson County Sheriff's Department. As you know, every so often our sheriff has what they call their Citizens Academy, and it's designed to help people like me, people like our citizens, to see the things that they do, how they interface with the community. And I just participated in that, had the graduation ceremony this last Monday, and I just got to tell you, I'm someone who kind of thought he knew a little bit about, this sort of thing, and I was absolutely amazed at all the different things that our Sheriff's Department does. How they distribute their resources. I mean, I'm reminded that our county, it's a big county. We've got like 1.8, 1.9 million acres. I mean, our county is only just slightly smaller than the entire nation of Israel. I mean, it's a big place. Hundreds of miles road for them to patrol. We got about 225,000 people, I think, that live here. And for the size of our county, it's kind of a modest-sized sheriff's department. And one of the things that kept coming up was the challenges and the difficulties, whether it's with the patrolmen, whether it's with the office staff, whether it's with the prosecutors, is there's this one piece of the puzzle that you might say that just kept coming up over and over again, and you all know what it is. It's the jail. It's the jail, and it's our capacity and whatnot. And the thing that really struck me when I was in the graduation part of it last Monday, the thing that really struck me is that it's not unlike something that happened in my home county of I'm from Klamath Falls, Klamath County. And we got a new jail in 1989, but we got a new jail in 1989 not because we wanted one, but because there was an attorney that went around suing all these various jurisdictions that they weren't in compliance with federal guidelines. And believe me, the late 1980s were not a good time for Klamath County. You know, the loggers had got run out of the woods. We'd lost about 40. The county lost about 40% of their ONC funding. I mean, it was tough financial times. But because of the times and the litigation and so on and so forth, Klamath County had to build a new jail, so they built a new jail. It was very financially painful for the county to do it. It wasn't terribly well planned. It was because they had to do it. And I thought about our county, in my opinion, best managed county in Oregon, very wisely managed, very economically well managed. But this jail thing has been a persistent problem. And I thought about these three things. I thought about the fact that we have 3 county commissioners that are pretty experienced in what they do. We have 1 county commissioner who has a very long professional history in law enforcement. We have a county administrator who has a lot of knowledge about the criminal justice system and how it works. And we have a great sheriff. So I'm thinking, you know, I know it's a lot of money, and I know it's not going to get solved this morning, but here's the deal. If we can't get this jail thing figured out with probably one of the best board of commissioners that we've had, with probably one of the best sheriffs we've ever had, with possibly the best county administrator we've ever had, if we can't get it figured out under those circumstances, I'm just really worried what's going to happen, because here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen sooner or later is it's going to happen if we are not able to deal with this jail problem, and it is a problem, we're not able to deal with it under these circumstances, very favorable circumstances, the day is going to come when the same thing is going to happen to Jackson County that happened to Klamath County back in, I think it was 1988, 87, 88, and then they had to build a new jail in 89, is we're going to have the steering wheel taken away from us, and we're going to wind up having to do it under less than favorable circumstances. So I don't have the answer for this. I don't, no magic wand, but we have in my opinion, very competent, very skilled board of commissioners. We've got the best county administrator, in my opinion, anybody could ask for to do this kind of stuff, and a fantastic sheriff. If we can't get it done under these circumstances, I'm really concerned how we are going to get it done at some point in the future when somebody else takes the steering wheel away from us and starts saying, okay, this is what you're going to do. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I want to say, and not to engage in a dialogue because we can't here, but just to reassure, talks are ongoing. It's a difficult thing to try to thread the needle between what's going to solve or at least partially alleviate and mitigate some of the problem and what can, be accepted by the public. But those talks are ongoing, and nobody's given up. It's something that we still have our eye on. It's just a difficult, thorny issue, and we need to make sure whatever is proposed is strategic and well thought out. So, just to reassure, it's still being discussed. Okay. And with that, we have no one else signed up, but Sherm, come on up, if you'd like.
I missed the sign up, but anyway.
That's all right.
Sherman D. Simmons. I'm a CTE business teacher, among other things. Ex-firefighter, quite an agenda. Ex-military too, NSA, SPD Europe, and a spy project. But anyway, what I'm addressing today is the Kelly Shelter and the staff. It's a private operation. Got a friend of mine that's been staying over there, and these people, they don't want me to come. I was going up to the door to pick her up, and they don't want me to come to the door. What are they hiding? Come on, guys. As an educator, I had an open door policy. I wanted people to know what I was up to. I took students all over Puget Sound, not just Europe, etc., but I wanted people to know. and be involved. I took parents and grandparents on my trips, Seattle, all kinds of places. And that's the way I wanted it. These people need to get their things going too, and have people in there to scrutinize what's going on and be involved. And the people that are in there need to have visitors and people involved. The stuff that I can't walk up to the door. I was going up and knocking on the door to get the person. They said, well, you can't do that anymore. Come on, what's the story here, guys? So anyway, we need to address that issue. And I'll be back here if it's not addressed, because it doesn't make sense to me. You drive up to the place and you got to walk clear up to the door area, and they've got people staying there, you know, hundreds of people in and out of the shelter area. It must be monitored. We got to know what's going on there. It's got to be scrutinized. You know, no secret stuff here. You know, those people are helpless and have no place to go, and that's where they are. So let's get on the right page and find out what these people are up to. That's all I have to say. Any questions?
Nope. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anyone else in the auditorium wishing to speak? Come on up. And again, please name and address for the record.
My name is Teresa Sheehan. Address is 13416 Highway 234, Gold Hill, Oregon. I've been here once before about an animal case that somebody wasn't taking care of his dogs, and they all died except for one now. But the current issue, and I live out in the country, so the current issue is that there's no place to take cats that people don't want. And I've been working for a local vet here, a volunteer, and he charges $80 to spay or neuter a cat or a dog. And FOTUS, which is affiliated with Animal Control, is charging $140 to spay a cat or a small dog. And I just don't see that they're doing any service, because there's so many cat colonies in the rural areas, and it's pitiful the way that they're just wild out there, and nobody's feeding them or taking care of them or anything. And it's like, where do you take cats? Animal Control says that they don't do cats anymore, so that's out. I've had several people who came into the veterinary office that I work in that relayed messages, and I didn't hear this for myself, but they said they've taken cats to Animal Control, and now that they're closed, they say, well, what are we supposed to do with them? And they were told, turn them loose. It's the cat colonies are becoming a bad problem all over the place. So there is no place to take cats. Everybody who does help with cats has no room. They're burned out badly. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, Joel, you want to respond to?
Sure, I think it's important, and I think this has come up before, that the county, under state law, only has an obligation as a dog control facility. We did about a year ago make a significant effort to try to obtain funding to be able to provide services, and to continue, or I should say, to provide services or bring services back for cats. There was a fairly well-organized opposition to that effort, which led to the effort being sort of sidelined at the moment. There is, again, no obligation of the county to handle cats or to provide any service related to any other animal other than dogs. And so with our funding, the board's direction has been to focus on that, since our effort to obtain the funding needed to provide additional services ended up failing. And so I think that's just important for the public to know that the county did make the attempt to obtain the funding to provide those services that the community clearly indicates that it wants. We just were unable to get the community's consensus to agree to move forward with that.
Thank you, appreciate that. And I think it's important to say, too, there's a lot of services that the board and budget committee would love to be able to provide in an ideal world, but there's fiscal realities that determine what can and can't be, especially in a climate of declining revenues, increasing expenses. There's certain things that we just aren't able to do, and that's one of them that we tried to find an alternative solution to. But again, as Mr. Benton described, the community wasn't ready for it at this time. Okay, anyone else in the auditorium wishing to speak? Doesn't look like anybody online. Their Zoom hand raised.
Mr. Vice Chair, there was no one on Zoom with their hand raised.
All right, then we'll move on into the consent calendar, which this week consists of the minutes of meetings of the Board of Commissioners work session of April 29th, 2025, Board of Commissioners regular meeting of April 30th, 2025, Board of Commissioners staff meeting of May 1st, 2025.
Move approval of the consent calendar as read.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. All right, no public hearing scheduled today, so we'll move on to discussion and deliberation. First item there is an order authorizing an aircraft rescue and firefighting services agreement with ProTech Fire Services Incorporated. This is order number 96-25, and Ms. Bell, if you describe.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So the Airport Department solicited proposals to provide aircraft rescue and firefighting service at the Rogue Valley International Medford Airport. A request for proposals was published on May 19th, 2025 in the Rogue River Press and the Daily Journal of Commerce and to the Jackson County website. 2 proposals were received, which included 4 staffing options over the next 3 years with the option to extend for 2 additional 1-year period. ProTech Fire Services and Rural Metro Fire Department, Inc. both provided quotes. For the 3-year term, ProTech Fire Services was $2,782,000 for option B, and Rural Metro Fire Department was $2,928,130. So the selection committee reviewed each proposal's qualifications, experience and operating plan and project budget, and unanimously recommended ProTech Fire Services. Prior to this contract, the airport had been operating under option B, which meets Federal Aviation Administration staffing level requirements. The airport wishes to continue to operate under option B staffing levels. Term of the agreement is July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028, with the option to extend for 2 additional 1-year periods. It's a financial impact of $2,782,000 to the airport, and staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Any questions?
No. Move approval of order number 96-25.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. All right, next order is an order authorizing a parking license agreement with the City of Medford, and this is order number 97-25. Ms. Bell again.
Thank you. So the City of Medford will utilize 55 parking spaces at the Health and Human Services parking garage located at 140 South Holly Street. Term of the agreement is May 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and requires ratification to become effective May 1st, 2025. It will produce $23,100 in revenue to HHS.
Thank you.
Move approval of order number 97-25.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. Last item on the agenda today is an order authorizing a Jackson County Services contract with Mercy Flights Incorporated, and this is order number 98-25.
Great, thank you. So Jackson County Mental Health partners with Mercy Flights, Inc. to provide mental health mobile services. Mercy Flights, Inc. and Jackson County Mental Health crisis staff co-respond to provide in-person services to individuals in Jackson County experiencing a mental crisis. Term of the contract is July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and it's a $325,000 expense to Health and Human Services.
Thank you.
Move approval of order number 98-25.
And I'll second. I just want to mention this is a service that was stood up a few years ago and has been extremely successful so far. Helps law enforcement, and it also helps make sure that those that are in mental crisis are referred to, the appropriate care and given the appropriate care at the time. So great program, looking to expand it, and it's been working extremely well. So we'll take a vote.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. And with that concludes our business, so we are adjourned.
We hope that you've enjoyed this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. If you have any questions on any part of the show, please feel free to contact your Jackson County Commissioners or staff. You can find their contact information at jacksoncountyor.gov. To review the content of this or any other meeting, under the Government tab, under Recorded Meetings, click on RVTV Live Streaming.
You can start doing it.